former Republican senator, defense secretary under President Clinton, Bill Cohen. It's good to see you, sir.
Chris, great to be with you.
It's even better to hear you. So we're getting close to a year now, right? February will mark a year of this war. Do you believe there is an end in sight?
Not immediately, no, but I think we can help bring it to an end sooner by giving more capability to the Ukrainians. They need more firepower. They need more, well, Bradley fighting vehicles they'll get, but they need Abrams tank, for example. I think that we ought to consider that as well. The Germans have said they're not going to give up their Leopard tanks unless we're willing to go with the Abrams. I'd say, okay, let's make a deal. We'll start training on the Abrams. You start providing Leopards as well. But we have to put Russia's interests at risk. We have to put it at risk now that Crimea, by way of example, we have to put at risk wherever they are firing into Ukraine, by air, by sea, by land.
So wait a minute.
Every one of those places ought
so
to be
wait
a
a minute.
target.
You're saying, well, but you can't mean that entirely, because Crimea, okay, but what if they're coming from Belarus? What if they're coming from inside Russian territory in Russia and firing? Are you saying to fire back into Russian territory?
I say that if you're firing and killing me daily in great numbers, and you're asking me not to fire back, I think that's pretty outrageous. And what's happened is the Russians have had sanctuary. We're saying, we're going to kill you, but you can't fire back at us. You can try to defend against us, but you can't attack us. I think that's a losing game for the Ukrainians. They have to be able to put the Russian troops at risk wherever they are attacking Ukraine. If that means Russian territory, so be it.
Is the guy who is in your job now in this administration saying the same thing? Because when we spoke to the president, Mr. Secretary, he was, no, we're not going to attack them in Russia. We just want our land back. We just want our land back. You know, President Zelensky is very disciplined on that point, and I have to believe it's because that's what he's been told has to happen in order for him to keep getting support. Don't go any farther than your own border.
Well, the problem with that is that the Ukrainians continue to die. Just this week, we saw an attack on an apartment building in which 45 people were killed, 6 children among them. It goes on day after day. And what's happening is the Russians are able to fire from various platforms in various parts, including the Black Sea, including Crimea, including elsewhere. And we're saying the Ukrainians can't fire back and attack them. I think that's unfair. And frankly, it will put Ukraine at a much greater risk of losing this thing.
So we started the interview by saying, you know, how much longer you think it's going to go. I mean, this isn't really bad for Russia. I mean, there are all these horror stories about how they have to recruit prisoners and this and that, but they haven't really broached any subject about wanting to come to the table. Do you think that this could be the state of play for the entire year?
I think the Russians want this to be a war of attrition. And a war of attrition in the long run works against the Ukrainians, just by virtue of the size of the Russians, the proximity that they are to the Ukrainian sources. That's a losing battle for the Ukrainians if they are not allowed to really take the battle to the Russians who are attacking them. So I think a war of attrition runs against the interests of the Ukrainians. And that's why we need right now to put as much firepower in the hands of the Ukrainians as we possibly can. Train them, take whatever time we need to train them, make them familiar with the equipment that will be helpful in going after the Russians and killing more Russians and sending them back home to Russia. And that will help end the war as far as the Ukrainians are concerned.
It's interesting. I understand the logic behind it. It certainly would meet with a lot of approval on the Ukraine side, but that is a very different argument than America has been making, right? Even in terms of the weapons they give. These are defensive weapons. They're not offensive weapons. We're not extending it. Obviously, we've been slow on our help because we don't want to escalate it. But I understand where you're coming from, and certainly the human toll is mounting, whether we're paying attention to it or not.
Chris, is the old expression, you don't want to poke a beer and antagonize a bear if you can toss a bear too, but a Russian bear. But if the Russian bear is in your home, you need more than a broom to get him out. You need a shotgun, right. And we have to give the equivalent of those shotguns to the Ukrainians, and we have to do it now and not wait until next year or the year thereafter as this grinds on and less support is forthcoming to the Ukrainians.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.